Jai Hind student, welcome to English class. Now student, in this lecture we'll be discussing about another type of sentences, that is compound and complex sentences. Now in the last lecture we have seen the categorization of sentences, and we have also discussed about the simple sentence. What are the simple sentence, how they are, how you can identify them, that all things we have discussed. Now let's see the compound sentences. Compound sentences, these are the sentences containing two main clauses. Okay, now what word I have used? Now these sentences, they have two main clause, या हम कह सकते हैं दो इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज होते हैं या दो प्रिंसिपल क्लॉज होती हैं इसमें. एंड दीज क्लॉजेज आर जॉइंड बाय अ कोऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शन, दैट इज but, and, ये सब conjunctions है, coordinating conjunctions, and such type of sentences are known as compound sentences. Okay, so these all things we have discussed when we have discussed about clause. इसीलिए हमने clause chapter पहले discuss किया था. You should know what is independent clause, what is dependent clause, and what is coordinate clause. Now you can see how easily you can understand, क्योंकि अगर हमने वो chapter नहीं पढ़ा होता तो अभी आप यही समझ रहे होते अब clause एक ही नया word आ गया, what does it means. Okay, now you can easily you can easily understand ki what I want to say. Okay, so compound sentences, they contain two independent clause, and these two independent clause are joined together by a coordinating conjunction. For example, I got into the car and went to the bank. Okay, now these two here you can see. Okay, so and word, that is the coordinating conjunction that is used to join these two sentences. Okay, for, let's see one more example. I was disappointed, but I did not express my feeling. Now here you can see कि but word is the but is used as a coordinating conjunction. I was disappointed is one of the clause. I did not express my feeling is another clause, and these both are two independent clauses, okay, which are separated by coordinating conjunction. Now, Christina drank her morning coffee and then she showered and dressed. Now, here you can see, okay, here you can see two independent clause like Christina drank her morning coffee, she showered and dressed. So, these are the two sentences which are joined. Notice the first part of a sentence and the last part of the sentence can stand alone as independent. So these two are the independent clause, you can say, which are complete in its meaning, which are expressing the single thought, जो कि एक thought बता रहे हैं पूरा. Okay, the key is to not use too many compound sentences together or your writing will sound stilted. So yes, but you should always try to write a simple sentence, because when you will join, if you are using two independent clause, okay, then fine. But if you will add too many clauses, okay, too many compound sentences together, okay, too many clauses together, then it may mess your writing. ठीक है, maybe whatever you want to say, that is not conveyed properly. So you should always prefer to write a simple sentence. Okay, now this is all about the compound sentences. Okay, and you can use, for this you can use and to join the sentence, both, then either or, neither nor also we can use to join the sentences, then still, yet, only. Okay, so therefore, as a result, for that reason. So these are few conjunctions which can be used to join the two sentences. For example, he did not report on time, so he was dropped from the team. So in this sentence, he did not report on time is a one sentence. He was dropped from the team is another. So these two are independent sentences which are joined by a clause, coordinating clause, that is so. Okay, coordinating conjunction भी हम बोल सकते हैं so. So in this way you can frame the compound sentence. I hope compound sentence आपको clear हो गया है. Now next आते हैं complex sentences. Now complex sentences जो हैं they uses an independent clause combined with one or more dependent clause. Now in this sentence it will have a one main clause and at least one subordinate clause. Okay, so such type of sentences which have main clause and subordinate clause, both the clauses are present, they such sentences are known as complex sentences. So here the subordinate clause, okay, which is dependent, always dependent on the main clause to make its meaning clear, always. Okay, because it can't stand on its own as a complete sentence, so it will be always dependent on the main clause or principal clause. So complex sentences use conjunction to tie them together too. Here also you use conjunctions in order to join them. Okay, now let's see few examples. Because she woke up late when her alarm malfunctioned, Christina missed her morning train. Now here you can see there is a combination of main clause and subordinate clause. Okay, making or increasing the complexity of a sentence. Like Christina missed her morning train. This sentence is complete in its sense. Okay, so this is the main clause. Because she woke up late when her alarm malfunctioned. Now this is the independent, sorry, this is the subordinate or dependent clause which depend on Christina missed her morning train. Okay, main clause पे in order to complete its meaning. As Christina watched the train pull out of the station, she realized she would be late for work yet again. So here she realized she would be late for work yet again is a main clause here. Okay, as Christina watched the train pull out of the station is the dependent clause. Okay, because we can't convey the complete meaning using as, although, because, while, since, after, that, if. Okay, so such type of sentences which have one main clause and one subordinate clause are known as complex sentences. The dependent clause can also fall at the end of the independent clause as in these examples. Now, in this way also you can write Christina missed her morning train because she woke up late when her alarm functioned. Okay. So here Christina missed her morning train is a principal clause. Christina realized she would be late for work yet again as she watched the train pull out of the station. So Christina realized she would be late for work yet again. Okay, so this is a complete sentence, that is a main clause. As she watched the train pull out of the station is the subordinate clause. Now here's a complex sentence with two compound independent clause and one dependent clause. Christina missed her train. Now this is another form in just increasing the more complexity, because complex में क्लॉज तो होंगे, दोनों ही होंगे, एक से ज़्यादा भी क्लॉज हो सकते हैं. Christina missed her morning train and as she watched it pull out of the station, she realized she would be late for work yet again. Now here in this case, in this sentence, you can see there are two independent clauses. First is Christina missed her morning train. Next is she realized she would be late for work yet again. So these two are the main clause and this is the subordinate clause, and as she watched it pull out of the station. So now I hope this makes you understand. Okay, you have understood all the three types of sentences: simple, compound and complex. Hope you all have understood it completely well. Thank you everybody.